enjoy, viewers, to part 2 of all the characters, creatures and machines and references in the movie Sonic Revenge of the Hedgehog. Starting off, do you recognize this scene of Shadow in Tokyo? And this bit? Well, you do, and I found out what it was. The bit of Tokyo that Shadow was in was similar to this bit from a classic anime film. But I won't tell you. I'll let you guys know which anime film it was. Not to mention, in this scene when Shadow says,
2024? I've been trapped for 50 years?
You're probably wondering, you all probably wonder after what Shadow said, what year did Shadow land on? Well, I figured it out, and I'll show you. 2024, take away 50 years, is the year 1974, which means Shadow has landed on Earth in the year 1974. Not to mention, do you recognize some of the machines surrounding Shadow with the gun soldiers in the scene? Well, I found out who they were. Some of them were the rhino bots from the beginning of the movie. Others were rhino tanks, the classic gun beetles like Sonic X, and of course, the Bigfoot robot. You heard me, Bigfoot robot. In this scene, when you see this purple-haired lady, she's Professor Victoria from one of the games. Also in the background, when you see the giant shadow hologram of his head, it's a reference to 2 other Sonic X villain characters, and I'll show you. Also to mention, it's also a reference to Chao having a giant heart. It's also a reference to that episode, the first episode of Season 2 of Sonic Prime. Shadow had a massive hologram in his head in the boss cave mage at the end of the episode of The Void. But it wasn't but Chao had a giant hologram head in the city of Tokyo as a reference to these 2. There are reference to Eggman's giant hologram head when he reveals himself to the city of Washington, D.C. And a reference to Nine's prismatic hologram head in Dome Sweet Dome and No Escape. Also, do you recognize the music when Shadow meets Team Sonic for the first time? Well, I have. It's the exact same music of when Apelin meets Scourge from Rise of the Beast. Not to mention, in this scene of Chao fighting Sonic, Knuckles and Tails with his teleporting skills, it's a reference to Sonic Boom.
Hey, no animals in here!
Knuckles, what happened?
You know what I mean? The scene with Chao and his motorcycle is a reference to the game and his Lego set. And in this scene when Sonic and Chao create an electromagnetic shockwave across Tokyo, it's a reference to Sonic Prime from the episode Don't Sweet Dope. And the power goes out for 2 hours and comes back online. Next up, the most cutest creatures inside the hedgehog, the Chaos. In this scene of the Chao Garden, we see some familiar Chaos. But the most familiar one out of them all is him. This one you see right here is the one and only Cheese, Cream's Chao friend. And we see the blue Chao also from Sonic X. And do you know what? All these Chaos in one together in one place is a reference to the episode of the Chao Colony from Sonic X.
Hey, they all look just like Cheese. I can't believe it. It's a Chao colony.
Thank you very much, Tails.
They're all so cute. Hey, look,
But it isn't just Sonic X that has Chaos. Sonic Prime does. And if you don't believe it, I'll show you the proof. Tails has 2 Chao mugs in his workshop. One that looks like the ones from the Chao Colony, and this one that looks like Cheese. But it isn't just that. There's also Chaos in the other Chao spaces, which are this is a Chao you see right here. And this one has horns, which means it's the purple Chao with the horns. And the boss cage mates are the green Chaos, and in no place the yellow Chaos. And to make matters, there's also Chaos in the Grim, and I'll show you. Right there in the background behind our Grim Chaos, And they're the ones with the horns. And who was having the same bow as Cheese. So Chao, there were even Grim Chao robots in Sonic Prime. Also in this scene when the little girls asked Tails,
Are you Detective Pikachu?
Yes, he is.
the only Pokemon referenced in the entire movie.
Pika, Pika.
You see these parts on the ground when Gerald Robot was sent to prison? They're ML parts. And you wonder, who's ML? Well, you should know who ML is. ML was one of those robot characters from Sonic X. He was one of Sonic. He was one of Cream's best friends. And two, a Chaos that brought his original programmer. And one thing that was truly dangerous about him. ML was a robot who can copy others' attacks, like Sonic's spin dash. And even Amy's weapon. But it wasn't just here ML appeared. He's also had a Sonic Boom version, and I'll show you. Friendbot was a Sonic Boom version of ML, because he has the same body, the same legs, the same arms, and even the same horn. Also in Sonic Prime we see Jamo, Elmer's updated form, and that's not all. You see this thing right here, that little robot when Nine looks down to destroy the outer wall? That's ML. And ML was originally worked for the Chaos Council of Sonic Prime, but Nine reprogrammed him to be one of his Grim robots in the Battle of the Grim. And remember that robot I mentioned in part 1 of my review? He too is ML, proving that ML had made it into the third movie in the Sonic live-action movieverse. In this scene when Tails says,
Why are we running from guns?
and when they're wearing those things on their heads, it's a reference to the same anime film from this scene. It's a reference to this movie anime film of these three girls.
In this song, Runaway.
And you can already tell who's who. Tails is the girl with the yellow hair, Knuckles is the one with the purple hair and red skirt, and Sonic, well, is the black one. The next machine in the Sonic universe is this, the Mecha Crab. But it's actually a crab bot. Not just anyone, it's the exact same one from Sonic Boom. See you next time in part 3.